Today's review lesson will be on adding and subtracting whole numbers and decimals. So there is only a few tiny little steps that are different for adding and subtracting decimals than it is for whole numbers. So I want you to pause this video for just a second and I want you to write down these steps. All right, so let's look and see what this means using this problem down here. I have 3 8/10 plus 15 78/100. So the first thing I need to do is I need to write them while lining up my decimals. Okay, so if I have 3 8/10 like this, my 15, okay, I need to have my ones places together, right? So my 15 78/100 would go like this. Okay. Is it okay if I write them the other way? So if I write them like this. Absolutely. Okay. Either way is fine. Okay. And that's the commutative property of addition. Okay. Says that I can put them in either of these orders and I still get my same answer. So I lined up my decimals. Now I need to add zeros as placeholders. Okay, remember if I add a 0 after a decimal point and there's no other digits after the 0, I am not changing my value. Okay, so if I add a 0 right here, I am not changing the value of 3 8/10. Okay, 3 8/10 is still the same as 3 80/100. Okay, but now I have a placeholder there. Now, if I want to, I can put a 0 here, but a lot of times we don't put zeros when we're in the whole numbers. We just kind of leave them. But that's really just up to you, okay? Because remember, a placeholder is just a, hey, there's really nothing there, but I'm going to put this here to say that there's nothing there, okay? And then I just add and subtract like whole numbers. So 0 plus 8 is 8. 8 plus 7 is 15. Making sure that I place my decimal. 5 plus 3 plus 1 is 9, and then 1. So my answer here is 19 58/100. So let's do some more. We're going to find these answers, okay? But we are also going to be working with inverse operations today. What's an inverse operation? That, remember, inverse means opposite, right? So if I'm adding, then to check it, I subtract. If I'm subtracting, to check it, I add. And we're also going to be estimating as well today because we need to practice both of those skills. So let's first do this problem. So we have 7 6/100 plus 85/100. Notice I lined them up, okay? I do not need to put any placeholders because they're all the same place value. So now I just add. 6 plus 5 is 11. 1 plus 8 is 9. 7 plus 0 is 7. So I say my answer is 7 91/100. Now I need to use my inverse operation to check. That means the opposite of addition is subtraction. So I am going to subtract this number, which was 85/100. And if I did this correctly, I should get this number that I started with. So let's see. I cannot do 1 minus 5, so I'm going to regroup. 11 minus 5 is 6. 8 minus 8 is 0. 7 minus 0 is 7. So I did get the correct number. I'm also going to check with estimating. So I want to round, let's see, I think I'm going to round 7 6/100 to 7. And I think 85/100 is really close to 1. And if it helps you think money, so like this is $7.06. So if I'm rounding to the nearest dollar, it's closer to $7 than it is to 8. Same thing down here. If I'm thinking of money, 85 cents is much closer to $1 than it is to no dollars. So I'm going to round that to 1. Well, 7 plus 1 is 8. Okay, and thinking of our answer over here, we had 7 91/100. Is that close to 8? Absolutely, because if I rounded to the nearest whole number, it would be 8. So I would say that I have a reasonable answer, and I know for sure it's true because not only did I check it with estimating, but I checked it with my inverse operation as well. So we're going to go ahead and do that for all of these. And when we do our practice problems and your quiz today, you're also going to need to do that, okay? So that we know for sure that we got the correct answer. All right, so let's go ahead and look at our next one. You know what? Let's jump down here to another addition. Let's jump to this one right here. Let's do both of the additions together. So I have 9 8/10 plus 3 79/100. Notice I lined up those decimals. Okay. Now this place needs a placeholder to know for sure that I am going to do something with this 9 down here. Okay. All right, so 0 plus 9 is 9. 8 plus 7 is 15. 9 plus 1 plus 3 is 13. So I'm saying that this answer is 13 59/100. And I think this time I want to estimate first. Let's see. I think I want to estimate again to the nearest whole number. So let's think money again. So this is $9.80. I would say that that's closer to $10 than it is to $9. And this is $3.79. Well, I would say that that's closer to $4. 10 plus 4 is 14. Is 13 59/100 close to 14? Absolutely. So that is a reasonable answer. So now let's check with my inverse operation. So this time I'm going to subtract this number, $3.79. And if I did it correctly, I should get this number. 9 minus 9 is 0. I cannot do 5 minus 7, so I'm going to regroup. 15 minus 7 is 8. And 12 minus 3 is 9. I did get that answer, so I know for sure that this is the correct answer. So now we're going to do the same for these other problems. Okay, let me see if I can't get this eraser to be a little bit bigger, go a little bit faster. There we go. Okay, so then we're going to go ahead and let's do this one right here. So same thing, 51 92/100 minus 28 3/1000. I've lined up my decimal, and I do need to place a placeholder. So I cannot do 0 minus 3, so I regroup. 10 minus 3 is 7. 1 minus 0, 9 minus 0. I cannot do 1 minus 8, so I regroup. 11 minus 8 is 3, and 4 minus 2 is 2. Okay, so I think I'm going to round to the nearest, you know what, let's round to the tens this time. Okay, so would 51 and 92 hundredths be closer to 50 or 60? I would say 50. And would 28 be closer to 20 or 30? I would say 30. Okay. And 50 minus 30 is 20. So is this close? I would say yes. So now I need to do my opposite operation. Well, remember the opposite of subtraction is addition. So again, I'm going to take this number and I'm going to add it to my difference there. And I should come up with the top number. 7 plus 3 is 10. 1 plus 1 is 2. That's 9, 11, and 5. So I did do this correctly. So this answer is 23 and 917 thousandths. All right, last one on this video. We're going to do another subtraction. Okay, 8 and 71 hundredths minus 4 tenths. Oops. All right, 8 and 71 hundredths minus 4 tenths. Again, decimal is lined up. I have a placeholder. So 1 minus 0 is 1. 7 minus 4 is 3. And 8 minus 0 is 8. Well, that was a pretty easy one. But let's double check. So, we always want to round to the nearest place, or excuse me, the highest place value they have in common. So that would be the tenths this time. Okay, so if I look here, that's a 1, so this 7 would stay. So this would be 8 and 7 tenths. And since there's nothing here, that means the 4 would stay. Okay, and so that gives me an estimate of 8 and 3 tenths, which is extremely close to 8 and 31 hundredths. So now let's go ahead and add those 40 hundredths back in. And I did get this answer, or this addend, so I did that correctly.